Happy Christmas Eve, first of all. I'm going to do a quick video. I talked to Holly at our meeting yesterday about some of the things that you guys might need tools for into the next round of Total Body Shred, and wanted to give you guys some ideas of some new cardio drills, strength drills, interval drills, ab exercises. I'm going to do my best to give you a little bit more so that when you go into the next session, you feel more prepared with some more ideas. And even if you play with them on your own, that should be fine. For cardio drills, the first thing I want to show you is an alternating jack to butt kickers. So taking two exercises and moving them and putting them together, it can be really, really easy to take something to the next level or make it a little more exciting. So the way that would look like is you're doing your jack and then you go to butt kickers. So it's like 2 or 3 jacks to butt kickers and jack. Or you can go to high knees, even better for those who are looking for a little more of a challenge. High knees, alternating jacks. That's a really good one. Already getting my heart rate up for 30 seconds. And then elevated mountain climbers. So hands, I like them on the bench, especially for this particular mountain climber, because I would like to bring the intensity up instead of the little tiny jogs that we tend to do for mountain climbers. Really asking them to get those feet forward, engaging their core, and getting a little hang time as well. So hang time in the air, engage that core, 30 seconds here. So it's more about how big can you make it rather than how fast and little can you make it. Oh, should have played some music. I'm already breathless. Then to out, in, and side hop with both feet. So you can do this standing or do this prone if you wanted to. So out, in, and then side hop. Out, in, side hop. Out, in, hop, hop. Out, in, hop, hop. Out, in, hop, hop. Pretty easy. Takes a second to kind of establish in your brain. Once you get it, it's not too bad. And you have to kind of alternate which direction you start on first. If you want to do that on the floor, you can go out, in, hop, hop. Out, in, hop, hop. Out, in, hop, hop. Not too scary, not too complicated. This other one is more of kind of a kickboxing move where you have them establish quick feet, hands up, and add punches. So fast feet, punch it out, add a little rotation, makes it a little more exciting. Again, this is all cardio. From there, a knee drive with a hop. So doing this on the step is going to make it a little more intense than doing this on the floor. 15 seconds on one leg, 15 seconds on the other leg. So kind of like a skipping knee drive. Wacky jacks. So I think we saw this last session. I showed you guys this one where you're getting your legs going and then you have the arms going for a wacky jack. Another option is to add a kick to that, but it takes some timing and learning, which would be, so here you are, whoop, in your wacky jack, and then you go 1, 2, 3, kick, 1, 2, 3, kick, 1, 2, 3, kick, 1, 2, 3, kick. Arms can stay up, or they stay down. Kick, 1, 2, 3, kick. I recommend you trying that one before you do it. Obviously, get your heart rate up and get your breath going. I haven't really warmed up before I started this video, so that might be part of it, I don't know. Scissors with a knee. So here we are doing our scissors. You could start here, then you can take it into scissors. Knee, 1, 2, 3, knee, 1, 2, 3, knee, 1, 2, 3, knee, 1, 2, 3, knee. Not too bad, not too crazy. Again, cardio. Going to 2 hops to the side and then 2 hops on one leg would be another good cardio move. So we go 2 hops, 1, 1, 2 hops, single, single. So it's 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Hopefully they keep moving as they jump instead of here, which isn't horrible, but it's not quite as hard. Okay, so 2 hops on 2 legs, 2 hops on 1 leg, alternating. Next, number 9, hands on the bench, butt kick to jack legs. So similar to the in, out, side to side hop, only you go from butt kickers, you want to see the side view of that, But kickers, so really lifting up those hips and kicking yourself in the butt, to jacks. So we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kick your butt, jack it out. And then tick-tock. So this is kind of a step move. Last cardio move that I'm going to share today. On the step, you can do this on the bench or off of the bench. On the bench looks like this. Going up, tick-tock, squat. Tick-tock across, squat. Tick-tock across, squat. I'd say this is cardio, not intervals. Cardio. Tick-tock. And of course they need to keep themselves aware of where they are on the bench at all times. 1, 2, 3, squat. Okay. That is it for my ideas for cardio. They can also do that here if they want. They just can't move across. And then here's what it looks like on the floor. Tick-tock, squat. Tick-tock, squat. It's too intimidating to be on the bench. Okay, moving to strength drills, which thank goodness sounds like I need. Push up to knee drive. Option to go decline. So if we stick with a similar formula of, which I'd like to kind of try to stick to more, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. With strength, I found the best way to make it difficult for people was to ensure that we keep the exercises with a quick transition. So coming from a plank position to moving to standing back to a plank position is just not as efficient as trying to keep them in that plank position for at least 2 30-second rounds. So I'm going to kind of show you 4 or so exercises that are strength, but are also very efficient. I didn't have time to really play with any TRX exercises that are anything new, but I recommend that we do those as well this time around. But push up to knee drive, so you can do a push up, knee drive across, push up, knee drive to the elbow, push up, knee drive to the middle, whatever you want to, or you can even teach doing all 3 of those. So we're gonna do like a rainbow push up. So push up, maybe you go out, you go in, you will go across, and then you take it to the other side. Out, in, and across. Finding. Maybe you just start with push-ups in week 1. You move to a knee drive in week 2, and then move to that 3-step push-up in week 3. Find things to progress in that way. So from the push-up, a nice one to go straight to is standing, but you're still using the bench. So step on the bench, so I would make sure my dumbbells are close by. So I'm starting here, do my push-ups. I grab my dumbbells right into the next exercise. So a standing press. I like to add a nice knee drive to this as well, potentially a reverse lunge. So it's really dynamic. There's a lot happening in that movement. A lot of balance too. And then they switch sides. In the second round, or you can even do halfway through. Okay. And then single leg squat with the weight in front. So this can happen in many ways. You can do this on the step, do a single leg squat, making this leg kind of stay off the ground, and then stand it back up. It's kind of killer the day after. Or you can take one dumbbell, so you ask them to set down the weight, and you actually use this weight as a counterbalance to do that single leg squat and that strength. So more legs, moving to weights on the shoulders, and then side lunges to a standing squat. So I like side lunge, squat, and asking them to stay low. That's where you're gonna get the burn quicker in 30 seconds. Ask them to stay low. All right, so those 4 I found tend to work well together. To move to upper body, so what I tended to do last session is I do 4 strength exercises with lighter weights, closer to the middle end of total body shred when I had more time to work with. Doing lighter dumbbells for some arm stuff, and then focusing just on the legs for at least 4 rounds so that their legs were really burnt out and their arms were really burnt out at once. So next, I would go bicep curl to a knee tap. this one's pretty cool, and I'm gonna come forward for this. So you can have both dumbbells or just one dumbbell. So here's your isolated bicep curl, right? Trying to get them to add a knee drop to this as they do their bicep curl. So dropping that knee, I just engaged my opposite glute. This leg isn't doing a whole lot, but the quad is. So you can maybe even start them here, they don't have to tap the ground, but they're bending their knee, and then they add the bicep curl, or vice versa. And then you take it to the other side really easily. Taking it down, up, maybe start here, because sometimes their brains can't work in two ways, and then take it to the bicep curl. So you're isolating that bicep as well as getting the legs, and their back should hopefully be in a good position. Keep it long and strong. Keep that core engaged. All right. Squat to low lunge and touch the ground. I actually stole this from Stedman. So level 1 of this exercise would be using the bench. So he had his class stay low. They'd step back and they'd keep this squat, tap the ground, bring it forward. Tap the ground, bring it forward. This is too easy for me, obviously. I can stay pretty low, but not everyone can. So this is nice to have something to touch, or you have them touch the floor behind the bench. So I'm staying really low. My legs are really getting tired. You could add dumbbells to that. They hold the dumbbells, they tap them on the ground as they step back. That's killer. Killer! Okay, those are good lungy, squatty thing. You can even add a row to that. Ooh, yeah, with the dumbbells. Okay, what's next? Okay, this is a fun one. Hopefully you guys can see it. We talked about the push-up variations. You can also add a push-up with an arm extension. Show you that really quick. Here's a push-up with an arm extension. Extend, extend, good. Or leg extension at the top. Totally optional. Next is a glute bridge that I really like. So hopefully we've all done glute bridge, maybe a chest press with a glute bridge. What I liked about this one is you keep that dumbbell overhead. You can have 1 or 2 dumbbells and then lift one leg up, lower that leg, lower the arm, lift the leg, lift the arm. Core really gets engaged. My lats are also turning on. Try it out. You could do this during core, you could do this during strength, I think, because really feeling that glute as well. Okay, next is strength. Okay, some good band stuff. So I alternated my weeks, which I'll email you guys. I did an A-B format. So on Mondays we would do an A, which was a whole different class than a B format. So Mondays we did the different class than we did on Wednesday. The next week we did the same classes but on those same days, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to show you what I did with bands during A-B. So A, I would have them do more dumbbell work on Monday night. And then my B would happen on Wednesday night where I would use bands for strength instead. With bands, I would do, again, 4 sets of 30 seconds with lighter band and more kind of an upper body focus with harder exercises. So my first exercise with the band is a wonderful pull apart. So this is pretty easy. You have to make sure you cue your class to keep the band tight at all times. And my favorite cue is to say, if the band starts slacking, you are slacking. I know you are slacking. So that's something you can kind of cue them into. Maybe it's kind of funny. So you make sure that they keep the band tight the entire time. So a pull apart is just working those rhomboids in the back. Easy to add, maybe a squat, maybe a side lunge, maybe a reverse lunge. Super easy to add the legs as well. Another version of that is, of course, overhead, but this is not as hard. This is more challenging for people, especially if they sit at a desk. After our pull-aparts, we can go right into a sword draw. So it's kind of an inconvenient transition from here to, they now have to, I'll show you, step on one side of the band and anchor it completely. And then I like to hold on to the band itself. Some people like to hold on to the handle, but it doesn't really matter. And then have them get low on one side, so it's a sword draw, working the upper back on that one side. You're opening up the arm and bringing it down. Also feeling some core as well. So we're opening and reaching, taking it back down. Again, staying low in some sort of a lunge or a squat. And I'm already starting to feel this. So the quick transition in the next exercise that I like, stepping it in, keeping the band on that same side and going straight into a shoulder press on the other side. Shoulder press. So here we are. We can add a squat to press. And again, we can always choke up on the band, make it harder by just bringing the hand down a little bit on the band. Then going right into tricep extension on this arm. So cueing them for the no rest you have, trying to cue them into tricep extension. Going from a press to a tricep extension right away on the same side is really tough. So then round 2, you would go here, open, close, then stand on the other side of the band. You're opening and closing on the other side. Take it to the other side, press. So this might be even too easy for some of our gentlemen, the red. So maybe a purple. Arm up, sorry, I mean a blue. Bend the elbow, check that rib cage, make sure the core is on. Bend and straighten, and then take it down. So from there, I tend to kind of shorten things a little bit in the third round. So since we do 3 rounds of 4 intervals, I'll maybe change it on that third or fourth round to, third round to just 15 seconds on each side. And you just have to quickly cue them through the transitions. So it's exercise 1, exercise 2, and then switch hands, exercise 3, and exercise 4. I liked that kind of segment that I created. And it does get them working. You just have to really cue them with the bands. How to make it harder, how to make it easier, and to not give up. Okay, after that, again, lat pull down with a squat. I think I showed you that. So lat pull down, arms overhead. Making sure that the band comes forward. They tend to like to do this. That's not a lat pull down, right here. Adding that squat. Maybe you have them stay down. This is killer. And just pull the arms. It's hard. Okay. Then, for more intensity, my second round would involve the bigger band. And it's easy. It should be pretty easy. There's a decent amount of bar space in here to have our classes use the bar first. So my first exercise I'd have them do is squat to row. So they stay down and row here. And then exercise number 2 from that row is taking the band off pretty quickly and going into monster walks. So they're still kind of in their own little area over here. And I'm, of course, right next to them going into monster walks. Quick transition. They have to go quick. After that exercise, they cross the band. Quick transition again to a squat high pull. With this heavy band, it's tough. It's really tough. I like to cross the band. It tends to be better on the shoulder and the elbows. After the high pull, taking one leg out of the band and maybe taking the band up to shoulder height or just forward or just bicep curling so you have a little more resistance. To a lunge, squat, lunge, squat. We can't necessarily move the leg that's underneath the band. We actually cannot because it'll snap us in the face. So keeping the band underneath that foot, one leg is moving. And then guess what? You go to the other side maybe after 15 seconds. There you go. Okay. So that's our strength. Some strength ideas. Into this next round. So now we're on to intervals. For intervals, I'm going to give you guys some new music, hopefully, that's good and consistent and intense the entire time. But we don't need the band, we don't need the dumbbells anymore, so kind of clear our area. Moving into intervals. So my first interval that I like is scissor or lunge jumps, right? So we would cue our group, here's our scissor jump. Those of you who want to take it a little further, lunge jump. Those of you who want to take it further, add the arms. Makes it a little more intense. Seems small, but it's intense. It's like you're doing a jumping jack with a lunge jump. You can also do it here with scissor jumps. Okay. That's my first set of intervals. Really cueing them to step it up, make it intense. Double. Written on my notes. All right, scissor jumps, reverse plank on the bench. with jogging legs in front. Really do need the bench in this case. Yeah, there's really no other way to do it. You're here, you take them down, hips are lifted, and then they jog here. So this is an interval because this is really hard. I'm already breathing. You can also jump. Woo, woo. It's not very easy. Okay, it's kind of fun though. And it's good for them. I mean, if their shoulders don't like this, you can go to mountain climbers, but I like it because people need to open up their shoulders more. Open up that chest more if they feel comfortable in that position. All right, low squat, tap the ground, 2 hops together. So here's your low squat, tap the ground. That's your option. You can also do low squat, in, out. Maybe you touch the bench, maybe you have your more advanced people touch the floor, as long as their chest stays pretty much lifted. Then you can do 2 hops in the middle. So you take a little further, you go down, 2 hops, down, 2 hops, down, 2 hops. Maybe you go squat, 2 hops, 2 hops. Another fun one with a little more movement is you jump, hop, back, jump, hop, back, jump, hop, back. So I'm actually moving forward and backwards in that case. So a lot of different variations for that exercise. Then kick, switch, reach under the leg. So kick switches, you can take them low intensity here. Higher intensity, turn it into a skip. Add the arms. So I'm reaching under my legs. The most intense. Going straight into it for 30 seconds. It is really hard. Okay, did like 5 seconds. And I'm having a heart attack. Box jump, tap the bench. So this is another kind of variation of going from low to high. But from here you go box jump, tap the bench. Box jump, tap the bench. People can also run, tap, run, tap, run, tap, without jumping. So it's kind of moving backwards. But if you wanted to start with the run and tap and then go into the jump and tap, you could. Hop up, hop down, jog back and forth. So again, a box jump or run up, run down, high knees back, high knees forward. Maybe you jump, land, back, forward. Jump, land, back, and forward. We did this, a similar thing to this last round. I showed you up, down, forward, up, down, back. Again, you can go up, forward, up, back. It's up to you. Going into burpees, straddling the bench. I think I showed you this last time, I can't remember. You're straddling the bench, burpee. So they just jump back. Stand up, they have the option to run up or jump up. Down, up, they run up, maybe they jump. Back, forward, up, down. Okay? You can also go side, up, down, side, up, down. It's tough to transition on that one though. So maybe, maybe not. Maybe toward the end of the series. Okay, last interval exercise. Bench. Trying to understand my notes. Okay. Oh, okay. This one's intense. So I call it a decline, up, up, down, down. So an incline, up, up, down, down would look like this. They fit, okay? And you can put their hips up a little bit. They go up, up, down, down. It's tough. It's not easy. A decline version is going to be harder. So here they are, straddling the bench, up, up, down, down. So really starting to feel my shoulders here. You can even jump up and down here too. That's intense. Woo! All right, intervals. Complete. This is the fastest total body shred class ever. Apparently it's still hard. Okay, going into core work. Did my best to come up with some interesting ones. I Really notice that throughout the class I liked to keep things pretty similar on my core work because I liked when people could tell they were getting stronger there. Most people need to do that anyways. So straight leg scissor sit up. So an option here would be to keep the legs straight, just reach for one leg. Another option would be to take both legs, reach up, and then our scissor sit up happens like this. Reach, down, up, down, up, down. Or you're just here, that's fine. That's our scissors in Pilates, and just taking it a little further. Then, you can support the head, of course. Bring you that, up, up. You know the options. Another one would be even this, if you don't want to keep the legs straight. They're all scissors, they're just different variations. Double leg stretch, this is a Pilates movement. Janelle, you'll know what this is. We're getting really, really tight, and as tight as a ball as you can. Exhaling all of the air out so our abdominals are completely engaged. Then inhale, keep the low back on the floor, exhale, bring everything in. Inhale, exhale. The more difficult version you want to make, open the legs, close the legs. Open and close. Very difficult. Okay. Glute bridge, march on and off the step. This is what is so great about going to classes a lot. I get to steal exercises. So this is a tribute to Caroline. You can do it on the corner of the step, you can do it on the side of the step. I'm just hoping you guys can see me. Hips lift, and you cue them to keep maybe their hands on their hips and make sure everything stays still as they march up, down, down. It's really hard to keep everything up. If I use my hands, it's easier. You can maybe cue them to go here. It's definitely harder. So hips gotta stay up. It's really hard, it's surprising. So give it a try. Again, keeping those hips stable. Imagine a hot cup of coffee on those hips, don't let it spill. Full plank bird dog. So we know this one. Level 1, full plank, bird dog, opposite arm, opposite leg, lifts. You can also have them bend their knees if you want to. Full plank bird dog. Level 2, on the floor, makes it harder. Ooh. You don't have to add that knee thing. I don't know why I was doing that. And then you can add reach for the foot. So maybe you have them lift and then turn. This is a little more intense as far as thinking. Turn. So it's maybe do like 3 bird dogs on one side, turn underneath, tap. 1, 2, 3, turn and tap. Or just do those exercises separate. That's tough. Bird dog, hand to foot. Plank and rotate arm under, we know this one. Again, on the ab stuff, what I notice is the best about it is making sure we're moving from planks to crunches to not hyperextension, but extension of the spine. Trying to keep everything efficient. Make it seem like it flows together. So they're not in a plank position the entire time they do their abs. That's not very safe on the wrists or the shoulders, and they won't be successful. So went from a full plank to a rotating plank, and that's enough plank for now. Going to flutter kicks next. I like these. So tons of variations on flutter kicks. You can't go wrong. So many variations, right? You can do figure 8s. Ooh. You could do a figure 8 with your legs together. You could do just flutter kicks. You could do up, downs, top, bottom. For me, I like to engage neck a little bit, tuck the chin a little bit, but still keeping room for like a juicy peach, because it tends to help people engage these upper abs while they do more of those lower, deep abdominals during flutter kicks. And they tend to actually be more successful in that way. When they're laying their head all the way down, they still create tension here. So I just kind of like to help them get their heads up. Tuck the hands underneath, or don't tuck the hands underneath, but that's definitely much more difficult. Any other variations of flutter kicks? You can go bigger. What else? I'm trying to think. I'm just knowing that there's so many options. You could have them just do lift and lower. You can have them do a V, one side the other side, like a U. You'd have them do a rainbow. Woo. You'd have them do a big circle. So many options. Plank, rotate legs under. So I showed you that. So we kind of took a break on the shoulders, did some lower body, legs after the plank series. Now I'm back to planks. So plank, rotate legs under. So I love this. Just kicking is fine, keeping both hands on the ground, or just knees. But what it does, and what we learned in some of our Kelly Roberts trainings, is it helps the lower body rotate on the rib cage. We tend to upper body rotate too much, so let's get the lower body rotating underneath us a little bit. So I like that. You can add a kick, you can add a break dancer, you can touch the foot, take the other side. Woo! Bunch of options. Progress to that, of course. Side plank, reach for toe. Okay. So I always tell people to start this exercise. Of course, side plank options are here, here, or here. The first option, of course, is on the knees. And people who can't necessarily do a side plank very often can still do this exercise. Knees bent. Our goal is to try to touch the foot. Maybe we don't. And it's trying, the hips can lower a little bit, but you feel a lot of oblique under here, a little oblique up here, and the leg working the abductors as well. So start them here. And the level 2, of course, is here. Whew. Tough, 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 tough. But it's not so much bringing the foot forward. That's not that bad. It's trying to bring it up top. That's more beneficial, I feel. But that's another exercise you can do. Let's see. Side plank, reach for toe. Start on the knee. Half Turkish get up. In this exercise, I recommend using a heavy, medium to heavy weight. So a Turkish get up, if you've ever done it, see if I can demonstrate a little bit. You kind of come up, you bring your foot underneath, and then you stand. We're only going to do half of that. So I'm going to come down. Half of it, you're really trying to encourage them to not so much think about the weight, but also think about making sure everything goes straight up toward the ceiling. So as you notice, I have the weight on the same side as the leg that's bent. That just helps people come up and hopefully sit up nice and tall and come back down. This is pretty killer. You can do it on the other side too. It's not like the end of the world. Actually, that one's not too bad. You probably won't remember which one. You can do it with both legs straight. I kind of like to do it bent because you start to feel different things here. Just making sure you do whatever you did on the other side. And then hopefully, maybe they only make it to here, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Hopefully, they eventually can sit up all the way. But what bending the knees also helps them do, that one knee, is because this leg they're gonna wanna lift to bring it up. If they have both legs down, that tends to happen. And so that's a weakness. I wanna make sure we kind of establish that. Slow and fast oblique drill. So we've all done oblique crunches, right? Arms behind the head. Here's our obliques. You can actually make this more difficult by making them change their pace throughout the minute. So if we're doing 8 minutes straight of core work, you have them lift up, you give them their options. They have the option to just do the legs, they have the option to just do the arms, and then you start really slow, and then you speed it up. And then you say, 10 seconds, guys, go, 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 go. 10 seconds, slow. By the end of the minute, it's gonna be 10 times more crazy than it would have been if they went the same pace. So it's kind of cool. Slow, fast oblique drill. Then we're on to plank glute lift. So, a hovering plank with the knees off the ground, that's hard enough as it is. Maybe you add a glute lift here. So you say, okay, we're gonna hover one leg, we lift a glute. You can also keep that leg straight while the other one hovers. Woo! You can see my awesome glutes already. Just kidding. So here we are, making sure that long spine is happening. You're also here, so those are your options. Okay. Plank lift with hip circles or arm circles. So here's your plank. You can also do this all elevated, right? This takes a little bit of the pressure off. Leg, hip circles, or arm circles. Or maybe you do, woohoo, arm and hip circles. That is like a brain teaser if I've ever done one. It's kind of fun though. to play with. And you can, of course, do that on the ground as well. So circles, cue them to keep their hips as even as possible. You can go to the arm. Last but not least, down dog to pull knee in and hold. Long name. But here, right, yoga people, down dog, knees are bent. It's kind of nice too, maybe at the end of the abs to kind of get that stretch. So lift one leg up, have them lift one leg up, but try to keep the hips square. And then exhale, pull everything in around the spine. Hold, 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 count them down. Reach up, and then put the foot down. Other side, lift. Pull it in, hold, 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 count them down. Back up, take it down. And there you have it. Hopefully round 2 will be a little easier now. You have some ideas, play with them. Biggest thing I noticed is making sure that you know the difference between an interval and a cardio exercise. Intervals are something that you can really barely only do for 30 seconds. The cardio is just kind of a warm-up and a calorie burner, trying to establish that metabolic change in class. But I wish you guys luck. I'm going to send this however I can to you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it and get a lot out of it.